Yeah, stuff too. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today is Monday, October 21st, 2024, and we'll call this meeting in order at 7:31 p.m. Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Juarez-Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin? Here. Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Navas-Barza? Here. Trustee Parada?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we'll start with our officer reports, starting with mine. First on your agenda this evening, we're going to have a public hearing. It'll take place now on an ordinance amending the Village of Alsip zoning ordinance regarding the citing and regulation of cannabis organizations. And secondly was the approval of an ordinance amending the Village of Alsip zoning ordinance regarding the citing and regulation of cannabis organizations. At this time, I'd like to open up the floor to the public. If there was any public comment on this particular request, or let's put this, or again, this is considered a public hearing at this point of our meeting. Anybody in the public wish to address the board on this? No one? All right. And for the record, we had no one speak to the board this evening on this particular zoning issue. Board, anybody else have questions or anything like that? Nobody? Okay. Thank you very much. Then we'll go on to our clerk's report. Clerk Harding.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval of the 2025 board meeting schedule, approval of the October 7th, 2024 board meeting minutes, approval of the September 2024 IDOT motor fuel tax allotment in the amount of $74,302.13, approval of the September 2024 FOIA report, and presentation and approval of the October 14th, 2024 committee meeting minutes. And that is all I had, Mayor.
Thank you.
Since we didn't talk about it before, going back to item number 1 on the board meeting schedule, just bringing it up to consider, do we skip the May 27th meeting as opposed to rescheduling it for Tuesday?
I think we did this year, if I remember correctly.
We did.
We did.
But I didn't know we hadn't done that before. It just kind of happened that way last year, so that's why I just put it out regular for this year. But if you guys do want to take that one off and just start the summer schedule in May again, I can definitely update this.
I mean, that would be my preference, but I don't know how anybody else feels.
I would agree with that.
Okay. So I will take off the May 27th as long as Trustee, you two were okay. Trustee Prada, are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. I will take off the May 27th committee meeting that's on there, and then we'll send out the revised schedule to everybody. All right, that was all I had, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we have our attorney's report. We have Mike Kankar with us. Mike?
No reports, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we'll go to our engineer's report. Jeff Hagan.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a request of approval of a resolution resolving that the mayor, village clerk, and village attorney be and are hereby directed and authorized to submit a $200,000 community development block grant subrecipient agreement and all understandings and assurances, and to execute the 2024 community development block grant program year subrecipient agreement with the County of Cook, Illinois for project number 2406-013. Be it further resolved by the Mayor and the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Alsip that the village engineer is hereby directed and authorized to execute any and all additional documents necessary to carry out the 2024 Community Development Block Grant Program for the Village of Alsip. Just essentially authorization for completing the grant agreement.
We weren't approved for one yet, though, right?
Yes, that's $200,000 for Karlov and Kamensky from.
Thank you. Okay. Understood. Because I was going through this today at my desk, and I know we had a couple of applications in, and actually I got a reminder today from our Illinois State Representative Mary Gill encouraging us to apply, but this is the Kaminsky and Karloff agreement. And we're going to do this work again when, Jeff?
Next year.
Next year,
Construction
okay.
season, correct. Yep.
So this, all right, so we're going to include this in our spring, summer, I mean, in other words,
Right, it'll be part of the
when's the letting
yearly
for it?
maintenance. We'll get together with Mike, figure out what all the various other roads he wants included in the program,
Okay,
and we'll get that going, in probably summer of next year, maybe.
understood, okay. So it'll be FY '26.
Right.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Next, we have the public forum. Did anyone in the audience wish to address the board tonight? Nobody? All right. We'll move on with our standing committee reports, then we'll start with Finance and IT. Trustee McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I request for approval of a list of payroll dated October 18th, 2024, totaling $519,866.92. Next, I have a request for approval of a list of accounts payable dated October 21st, 2024. From the recap, General Fund, $782,179.94. Road and Bridge, $71,318.66. Storm Sewer, $2,798.10. MFT, $6,227.04. Pulaski TIF, $250 even. Water and Sewer, $966,469.83. Sanitary Sewers, $3,248.99. Heritage Complexes, $123,430.62, for a grand total all funds of $1,955,923.18. And that's all I have this evening, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll go to our Fire Committee report. Trustee Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the presentation and approval of the Fire Prevention Bureau report for September 2024. And next, I have the presentation and approval of our monthly report for September 2024 based on our National Fire Incident Reporting System data. And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Trustee, I was pretty swamped last week. I couldn't get over. I went over today to Station 1, just so everybody knows. We did take delivery last Wednesday of the new fire truck. The new pumper truck was delivered. It's not ready to hit the street yet. It's probably going to be a few weeks before, because all the firemen have to train on this. They all get taught now how to run the pumping systems and whatnot. But great-looking truck, and looking forward to seeing that in use. That truck's going to be numbered 2073, I believe, is going to be the new number on this that they have on the side of this. But it's a nice piece of apparatus that came in on Wednesday, the 16th. Next, we had the police and traffic safety report. Trustee Dalzell.
Nothing for this evening's meeting, Chief.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Chief, yeah.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
And we still got, we've got one more meeting, just as a reminder, on Halloween coming up and stuff yet, too, so, okay. Next, we have Public Works and Boat Launch Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval of the Public Works September 2024 monthly activity report. And that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Then we'll go to Sewer and Water Report. Trustee Nava-Esparza.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have item 1. 3 members of the Water Department attended the yearly IAPA regulatory update this month. These regulatory updates are crucial to our employees so they can stay on top of changing regulations that affect our water system. Next, I have item 2. Work has already begun on the yearly water audit. Andy is working with Robinson Engineering to make sure this will be completed by the January 2025 deadline. And next, I have item 3. With winter around the corner, the Water Department is asking everybody to check out the village website for ideas on how to prevent frozen pipes. Go to the water tab, scroll down until you find cold water and your water system. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have the Building and Health Report. Trustee Parada.
Thank you, Mayor. The Village of Alsip wishes to thank the contractors who are building 2 new single-family homes on 111th and Lawler, and 2 more new single-family homes are being built on 111th and Leamington. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Yeah, I actually added that to the report. I tell you, I was out, I ran into Building Commissioner Early on last Friday, And they're going strong, putting up these 4 homes over there right now, too. They're putting in new, and I'll tell you again, this eliminated blight. There was a house there that just it was unoccupied for probably 10 years, and there was enough room there to put in 2 homes. These lots are so big, but they look great. And the contractors, again, are putting in fire suppression systems. Everything gets a sprinkler system when it gets built, too, so.
Mayor, would you happen to know if it's the same contractor building all 4 homes?
There's 5 contractors, and 1 guy gets each house. I mean, in other words, they all work in unison and stuff yet, too. But it's the same 5 people that have built like the last dozen throughout town and stuff yet, too.
Nice. Very good.
Thank you. So next, we have the Human Resource and Insurance Committee. Trustee Murphy?
No report tonight, sir.
Okay. Go to standing committee reports, starting with Economic Development. Trustee Nava Esparza?
No report, Mayor.
Okay. Trustee, I know I had a conversation about a week or so ago with Firewater Barbecue and Brew, and he is working real hard and trying to secure 2 more users for those next 2 units next to him. He said he's hoping to have something pretty soon. So we'll get that. And then I did talk about 2 weeks ago, I talked to the people that want to develop the area at 120, call it the 122nd and Pulaski, and they are getting very close to securing a 2nd user for that, too. So I had talked to the commercial realtor on that. He said they're doing pretty well on that. So hopefully we'll have something soon to report. We have nothing right now.
Okay.
Okay. So next we have the Village Properties Report. Trustee McGlawhorn?
Thank you, Mayor. I have the presentation of the Heritage September 2024 monthly activity report. And on that report, Heritage 1, we have 2 vacancies available for rent, which happen to be the 2 units that were recently completed being remodeled. And at Heritage 3, we have 3 vacancies available, which also correlates to 3 remodels that were recently completed. Otherwise, at Heritage 1, we have 4 unit remodels that are currently in process, and then 5 more at Heritage 2 in process. But otherwise, is it pretty full in both complexes? Mm-hmm.
I'm really pushing to try, I'll get a status, Trustee, I'll get it back to you tomorrow, but I'm pushing to try and get a print drafted, because we need the Illinois Department of Public Health apparently has to approve a print that, for the replacement of the pool at Heritage 1. So I'll find out where that's at. I'll get that back to you this week. Next, the Ordinance Legislation Committee, Trustee Peretta.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have a request for approval of an ordinance authorizing an agreement of the Village of Alsip with Accord Carton with respect to the property located at 6155 West 115th Street, Alsip, Illinois, and the PIN number associated with this property is 2420301-009-0000. And next, I have a request for approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving the renewal of Class 6B assessment status for the real estate located at 6155 West 115th Street, Alsip, Illinois, PIN number 2420301-009-0000. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the Planning and Zoning and Licenses Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the approval of a list of licenses dated September 30th, 2024 through October 11th of 2024. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Did anyone have any presentations, petitions, or communications they wanted to share?
Mayor, I had a couple. The early voting has started here in the Village Hall, so vote early and vote often. And I was privileged enough to go to a catered event this past week, and Firewater Barbecue and Brew Pub catered it. And I have to say, I have not eaten there in-house, but their catered food was excellent. They featured brisket and baked beans and pulled chicken, and their cornbread was outstanding. So if you get a chance, visit Firewater and eat there. It was really, really good. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you very much. And as far as voting today, it was impressive. I would tell you, there was actually a line at the door at 9 o'clock this morning, and there was a strong flow of folks coming in there all day to vote today and stuff yet, too. So good for them, coming out to vote. Trustees, did anybody want to remove anything from the consent agenda? None? Can I get a motion then to establish the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish consent agenda, trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McGlaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navas Barza?
Yes.
Trustee Prada?
Yes.
Motion carries to establish consent agenda.
Can I get a motion then to approve the consent agenda as established?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, item A, approval of an ordinance amending the Village of Alsip zoning ordinance regarding the citing and regulation of cannabis organizations will now be known as ordinance 2024-10-9. Item G, approval of a resolution resolving that the mayor, village clerk, and village attorney be and are hereby directed and authorized to submit the $200,000 community development block grant subrecipient agreement and all understandings and assurances and to execute the 2024 community development block grant program year subrecipient agreement with the County of Cook, Illinois, for project number 2406-013, will now be known as Resolution 2024-10-R-2. Item J, approval of an ordinance authorizing an agreement of the Village of Alsip with Accord Carton with respect to the property located at 6155 West 115th Street, Alsip, Illinois, will now be known as Ordinance 2024-10-10. And item K, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving the renewal of Class 6B assessment status for the real estate located at 6155 West 115th Street, Alsip, Illinois, will now be known as Ordinance 2024-10-11. Roll call number 2 to approve consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McGlaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navas Barza?
Yes.
Trustee Prada?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve consent agenda.
Thank you very much. Did anyone have any unfinished business they want to discuss? About any new business? None? All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We'll adjourn this meeting at 7:50 p.m. I really appreciate your attendance this evening. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.